Well, I have known Patrick for a while. I think he's terrific. I got to tell you, he's young. He's experienced. He knows how to handle difficult people, and he knows how to bring people together in a way that is just extraordinary. The things that you've done, the things that the New Trier Democrats are doing are amazing. There's a book club. There's, conversation and coffee. There's lots of ways for all the people of this community to get involved, and Patrick is a real joy to be around. And I'm always amazed that when I go to these New Trier things, I'm amazed by you. You know everybody, and you seem to have limitless energy. And if there's anything that can get somebody successfully through a campaign, it is limitless energy. So tell the listeners what you've decided to do with your immediate future.
Well, Joan, thank you so much, and we love seeing you at our events. And we do. We try and bring great speakers that talk to relevant issues in the community, and we have such an amazing group of experts and public officials and elected officials in our neck of the woods, and so it's just a wonderful resource to draw on. But yes, I think our country is in crisis. I don't think I'm alone in that opinion. I think our state is going to become more and more important as the federal government is trapped in gridlock or worse. And so I see this as a moment for Democrats to redefine our party and reimagine what we expect and what we hope for from the state of Illinois. And so I've thrown my hat in the ring to follow in the great footsteps of your previous guest, Laura Fine. And so I'm running for state senate.
Well, as you may have heard, I was just talking with Laura Fine about what motivated her to run to be an elected representative in Springfield. And she had a really horrific family situation. I know that our very own Patty Vasquez wanted to run for a statewide office because of her experiences with a son who has a lot of physical and mental impairments, and, getting more help and support for that particular community was a big part of her motivation. What is driving you? What is the passion project that you want to go to Springfield and make happen?
Yeah, and let me say two things really quickly. So first, I grew up one of four kids. My mom was very, very involved in our schools. She served on our school board. Her mom served on school boards back in Kansas. And my dad passed when I was young. So my mom raised us alone in a suburban community, and we had every single benefit of the public system. We had the parks, we had the libraries, the schools, we had safe streets. And if it wasn't for public systems, our lives would have been very, very different. So throughout my life, I've carried a deep conviction in high-quality, good public services that are accessible to everybody. That's just the ground, the bedrock of a healthy society. But in terms of what I want to bring to Springfield, I really think we need to achieve the green energy transition and do it while growing the state. The state has stagnated economically in a lot of ways. In terms of population, we're always kind of fighting the ebbs and flows. And I will say it sounds like Chicago grew recently, which is great news. But we should still be setting the standard for what Democrats can deliver. I want it so that in 2028, when we have a candidate running for president against, God forbid, Donald Trump again or somebody else, we can point to places like Illinois and say, look at what Democrats can do. If we're going to be the government, if we're going to be the party of government, our government should be exceptional. People should be able to point to us and say, look, they can fight the climate crisis while building data centers and bringing great new jobs, while delivering super high quality services to people that need them. We need that focus and ambition so that we can draw a clear contrast with states, states like Florida, where ideologues have taken over the education system, where...
I know Laura fairly recently announced that she was running for Jan's seat. Other than you, has anybody officially declared that they're running for this state Senate seat?
Yeah, Rachel Ruttenberg, who is the Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy for Tony Preckwinkle and the Deputy Committee Person at Democratic Party of Evanston, has announced that she's running. And I'll just say up top, this is a Democratic primary. We're all friends. Rachel is wonderful, and I think either one of us would make a good senator.
That's, for a party that has a tendency to tear itself apart, that's very good to hear. So what are your next steps? I mean, do you have rallies, or are you just still meeting with people behind the scenes and meeting with donors? People who don't know you, Patrick, people who've never been in your presence, how can they meet you? Is there some place where you're gonna be? Is there a website where, places you're gonna be will be found?
Yes, and thank you, Joan. So if you go to hanleyforillinois.com, you'll see a little bit about what I'm about, a little bit about my background, and there's a little tab for events. So me and my team are putting together dozens of events throughout the summer across the district. We've got happy hours scheduled. We're going to have town halls and listening sessions in each of the cities and villages throughout the district. And then we're going to be doing a ton of community service. So we've already working on a partnership to do a prairie planting in early June that I'm really excited about. So we're going to make sure that the campaign is oriented around community service in addition to the more traditional campaign activities. And then I'll say I'm going to be knocking doors. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Evanston and Skokie just knocking doors, saying hello, introducing myself, and inviting folks out to these town halls where we can have that conversation about the future of the Democratic Party and the future of the state of Illinois.
And what about the old fogey wants to know, what about a social media presence? Are you going to be TikToking?
You bet we are. And Joan, that's part of what I think we need to see out of the next generation of leadership.
Absolutely.
We need folks for whom social media is second nature, because communication and organizing and advocacy are just as important in public leadership as is policymaking.
And you have to go where the voters are. And I know that right now, 20-somethings and 30-somethings, they are not big consumers of traditional media. They are looking to YouTube, Reddit, TikTok, and other social media sources to learn about people and to get information. And I think it's a real mistake to ignore those avenues, because I would love it if there were younger folks listening to me on the radio, but generally, those younger folks are working at their jobs during the afternoon, and if they can have the radio on in the background, that's great, but radio isn't just something that they gravitate to the way my generation did. And I think it's so important that a campaign these days has got to be multi-pronged.
Yeah. And you hit the nail on the head. We just got to be where the voters are. And we can't be snobby about it. And if the voters are on TikTok, we go on TikTok. If the voters are watching Fox News, God bless it, we're going to go on Fox News and we're going to spread the word. I think that's so important. And another part of the job of an elected official in 2025 and 2026